Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining the Holistic Health Alliance monthly community talks. Today we have Mridula Wittke joining us from Arizona, and we have a very interesting topic about connecting with our spiritual guides. And I'm very curious to see what it is going to be like. And this is just the beginning of the year, so it's a very good kind of realign and reset kind of a session where we will hopefully take away some positive things that we can implement simply in a simple manner in our lives. And before I hand over the stage, so to say, to Mridula, I'll quickly introduce a little bit about Holistic Health Alliance, just a couple minutes. Holistic Health Alliance is a nationally launched nonprofit, and Holistic Health Alliance is the organization that is putting together these monthly talks. And some of the people you see who have joined are holistic practitioners themselves and are practitioner members in Holistic Health Alliance. So the vision is to create a unified platform for holistic practitioners all across the nation and bring them together, connect them, because even holistic practitioners and holistic practices can be very different. And it is always good to know what other holistic practices mean, what do they offer, how do they work, who is offering them, so that we can cross-refer and we can support each other. And we can learn from each other, one another, and also get inspired, get some success stories. So those are the sort of broad goals. But through the community talks, we also want to educate and empower our community members, not just to empower them, but also to let them know what you're offering, how does it work, and where are you offering it out of, right? That is very important, because unless people know, they will not utilize you. So very quickly, I'm going to show you our joining card. Like, this is just a very simple, broad flyer. If any of you who are attending are interested, I'm going to quickly share the URL, and then we will pass on to Mridula to share with us what she has today. So you can just click on the URL in the chat box to check out the nonprofit and also joining details. And just before ending, I also want to share about our Youth Brigade initiative, where about 2-3 years ago, I have launched the Youth Brigade, where we are trying to engage our youth in conversations around health, because I think all of you will appreciate that unless we engage our youth in health and wellness, they will not really prioritize their health and well-being. And that will be a big opportunity lost, because we are talking to our youngsters just about grades and exams and testing and just academics or sports or other things, but not the simple value of a healthy meal, a good night's sleep, stress management. So these are the things we're doing. And our Youth Brigade has launched a teen mental health initiative 1.5 years ago. And under that, we have already started 22 high school chapters focused on teen mental health. And a lot of other work is going on with the youth as well. So do check our website, and I would love to see some of you join and support us, reach out to us. We always need volunteers. So with that, once again, a very warm welcome. And I will let Mridula introduce herself and what she offers. And we're all looking forward. So welcome, Mridula.
Thank you, Prativa. Good morning, everybody. My name is Mridula Wittke, and I'm really, really happy to see all of you spending your Sunday morning with me. By profession, I'm an IT engineer, but I also am a Reiki practitioner. So Reiki is a kind of energy healing. and it also helps you manage your stress. I've helped people a lot with, when they're kind of in not so positive mode, or when they're in depression, all of that Reiki I have been able to use. I also do chakra balancing, so the 7 chakras within our body, I do that as well. And right now I'm also on a spiritual quest of my own, where I'm kind of trying to figure out, what is all this world about? And, especially with energy healing, I'm really interested in all the energy around us. So along with our physical well-being, I think a spiritual well-being is also important, and it's very powerful. So that has been kind of my focus. I do a bit of meditation coaching as well. I don't have any certification on that, but as I practice, I do try to help my clients go through that. So having said that, let's talk about today's workshop. So this is one of my favorite workshops. Basically, it is divided into 2 sections. So first half, we learn about spirit guides and how you connect with them. The second half, usually I help people kind of define a goal and kind of work with your spirit guides to fulfill the goal. So in the interest of time, I don't know if I'll be able to do the second half, but I'd love to do the first half, so at least we get you going on how to connect with your spirit guides. So out of this group, how many of you are aware of spirit guides, or you've connected with your spirit guides? Just a hands up. Nobody?
Not me, but yeah. Oh, okay. Rohini Wittke has.
Yes. So basically, let's start with the topic of what is a spirit guide, right? Every culture, every religion, we believe that there is an angel, there is somebody, looking over us. It could be your ancestors, it could be an animal. Some cultures believe that. We also believe that, not believe, but more of that intuitive voice that comes from within. We are always guided as human beings. You might be getting out of the house and you suddenly get an instinct, hey, take an umbrella. Maybe it's going to rain, right? And you listen or you don't listen, that's up to you. But constantly your guides are definitely talking with you. And it's in some cultures, it's also believed that when you're born, your guides are with you until the age of 2. And after the age of 2, when you start talking, and there's a reason why that happens, your guides kind of disappear and you get, kind of engaged with the current world. So why that happens? So basically, okay, let's see. So that's part of what a spirit guide is. And in order to connect with them, right? So how I look at it is we have the left and right side of our brain. We're all born with brains, and we don't use our brain to the 100% capacity that we have. So the left side of the brain is more of our logical thinking, the analytical thinking, the critical thinking, right? And the right side of our brain is more of creative thinking. It's more intuitive. So after we are born, when we start talking, we get so tied up with the work, we exercise the left side of our brain very intensely, but we forget to exercise the right side of our brain. Some people do, like there are creative people like artists, musicians, they're very connected with the right side of the brain. And to them, like, when they create art or create something, that's when you're enhancing the right side of your brain. So in order for you to connect with your spirit guides, it's necessary that you shut your left side of the brain and allow the right side of the brain to function. And that's where meditation helps. That's where prayer helps. I'm pretty sure everybody at one time or the other have joined their hands and prayed to somebody, right? And that is basically you talking with the higher self, your intuition, your God, whatever you want to call it. So at that point, you are shutting your left side of the brain and kind of, emotionally connecting with the right side of the brain. Now, today, what I want us to do is, I want us to shut the left side of our brain. So the little workshop that we'll have is basically, there will be kind of like a guided meditation where I will be helping you to shut the left side of our brain and connect with the right side. So that way you can connect with your spirit guides. I had actually gone through this exercise myself about 3-4 months ago. And, I was invited to join with my spirit guide. And basically, when we shut down the left side of the brain, you're very open to receive to whoever comes. And that's what we are going to be doing today. So some people were asking me the other day, like, is it some guru that I follow? Is that my spirit guide? And I'm like, physically, yes, but in this exercise, you are allowing them to come to you. So spirit guides are non-physical forms. They don't have a physical form. Today, what we will be doing is creating that form that relates to us deeply. A guru's physical may not be very relatable, but when you open your mind and allow them to come in, you will be seeing various kind of figures that you will see the form, give it a form, and give it a name. When you do that, it is much, much easier for you to connect with your guides. So when I went through that exercise, it is so funny, for some reason, I got a Cleopatra, okay, who would call herself Xena, because I think I'm very attracted to the way Cleopatra's story is and how confident she was, right? So she came up, and then so we call a female and a masculine energy, feminine and masculine energy, right? So on the masculine energy, I got like a little mouse, Tom and Jerry. So I actually got Jerry with his suit on, and I'm like, what the heck is this? But these two guides are with me, and it's so much fun interacting with them. And I always look up to them for my guidance, because guidance, sometimes we need the masculine energy guidance or the feminine energy. So these two really help me out. And the story I have is, when I was coming back from India for my trip, I was actually supposed to do a workshop for my friend. And I was thinking, what workshop should I do, right? And then these two come up and they're like, hey, lady, you've connected with us. How about you help other people connect with their guides? And I was like, oh, I don't know. I was a little skeptical on doing it. And I constantly got the message that, people who need, and whichever guide is ready to connect with them, those are the people that are going to show up for this kind of workshop. So I don't need to really go and advertise and all of that, but these are the people who are ready to connect to their guides that will show up. And that workshop went really well. And today too, this morning, I see a lot of people like coming in, and I just want you to take a minute to see that, are you there in your journey? You are, because you have been called here to, connect with them. So just take a moment and say, how did I appear in this particular workshop? How did I connect? Who did I know? How did I get the link, right? Just a reflection. And just feel connected that, yep, you are supposed to be here this morning at 9 a.m., for me, at least on a Sunday. All right. So I know I'm looking up through notes because I don't do a whole lot of talking, but today, since this is a kind of workshop, I just wanted some guiding points. Do you have any questions before we go through the connecting with them? Does anybody have any questions?
So is this part of, is it an Indian cultural aspect of it, or is it general? I just want to know where the roots are from.
I would say it's general.
Yeah.
So let me point it out. A spiritual journey is very personal. Everybody has their own way of connecting with their higher self or the life force, right? So I would not relate this to any specific religion or culture. I think every religion and culture has this. The way you do it is different, right? So today, the way I'm going to do it is going to be more of like a fun-based, not like a strict a method, because again, I'll be using my left side of the brain if I go like method-wise, right? But if what I like is let your right side of the brain be creative and let you connect, your inner self connect with the higher self. So that's how I like to present it. Another thing I just want to mention before I start is, obviously there will be a little bit of guided meditation, because as I take you to a state of meditation, I don't want you to go all over the place, because I am trying to get you to connect with your guide. And I did get a feedback that, oh, I hate guided meditation because, I'm in this form or state, and suddenly, the voice will say, do this, do that. I hate that kind of meditation, right? So I just want to give you a heads up that there will be a little bit of that, just because, the purpose of this meeting, the purpose of us meeting is to be able to connect to your guides. All right.
Can I also ask a question, Mridula?
Yes.
So I had the same question as Anjana, like what is the history or tradition from where, so you said it's kind of found probably across the world. How did you discover it? Maybe that will help to establish a little context. How did
Sure,
that come
sure.
in your life?
Sure. So for me, when I started my spiritual journey, right, I did start out by listening to a lot of like gurus or teachers. And at one point, what I felt was, you know what, uh, we are here to experience our own life, right? Yes, I can listen to these many, many teachers, but at the end of the day, what really resonates with me is my own experience. So when I look at it that way, I don't really like to kind of pull people or different cultures and say this is the format. For me, it's my own experience, and I think it should be the same for each one of you. You know, especially on your spiritual journey, because what life throws at you is very different. How you perceive it, how you take it. Yes, I often give this example, right? There is fire. I know if I put my hand in there, it's going to burn me, right? Because somebody put their hand and it burned them. So that was their reaction. But what if inside of me, I have that power where it doesn't burn me? I will never know until I put my hand in the fire, which means, yes, you make your own mistakes and you learn your own lessons. Don't try to learn your lessons through just other people's experience, right? So, yes, you listen to them, you understand what the outcomes are, but don't be afraid to kind of go and experience it yourself. So for me, when I went with this method, you know, um, and to tell you the truth, these days I don't even look at anything as separate. I look at everything as one, and I start getting the same message from all cultures and religions. So, and spirit guide was something that was really, really, interesting me, because I was like, yeah, there is a higher self. So when I'm doing my Reiki practice, I am connecting to the higher energy to kind of, emit that energy to my clients, right? So I was like, what the heck is this higher energy? What is it? So I went in that quest or search. And, then I kind of went through this whole spiritual guide uh, conversation. There's lots of videos on YouTube that you can kind of listen to, and there's lots of meditation there too where it helps you. But the one that resonated to me and was much more fun was this particular method that I'm going to be sharing with you guys. Because oftentimes what happens when we talk to a non-physical form, it's a little difficult to connect with them because we don't see them, and the human mind is such that until you see and can kind of name them, it gets a little difficult on, you're like, who am I connecting with? So this particular method kind of helped me to understand that, hey, when I have a name and a face, it's really easy for me to call them in and kind of, connect. So that's how I operate. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, it did.
I,
It is.
and I don't know, some people may resonate, some people may not, and that's absolutely fine. All right. So before we get started, I do want you guys to be in a comfortable space. And just make sure, if you want to have your water, get your quick bathroom breaks, please do so. And I'm also just getting comfortable. Just give me a second. And just make sure your back is supported. And a couple of advice again, when the angel or the guide comes to you, just be very open to receive whoever comes to you. And try not to use as much logic as you can. So let's start with taking a deep breath in. Hold and exhale. Another deep breath in. Hold and exhale. And exhale through your mouth. Forgot to mention that. So take another deep breath in. Hold and exhale. Take one more deep breath in. Hold and exhale. And one last time, take a deep breath in. Hold it for a few more seconds. And as you exhale, open your eyes and just observe 3 things in the room. And as you find these 3 objects, pay attention to 2 sounds that you may be hearing. And now I would like you to pay attention to one feeling in your body that you may be feeling right now. Now slowly close your eyes and in your mind's eye, identify 3 objects that you may be seeing. Go a little bit deeper and now pay attention to 2 different sounds that you may be hearing. Go a little deeper and feel a feeling within your body. And take a moment to scan your body from the top of your head all the way to your feet. Any area where you feel kind of tension, with your breath, relax that area. Feel your forehead relax. Your eyes are relaxed. Allow your jawbones to relax. Feel your tongue comfortably sitting inside your mouth. Take a deep breath in and relax your shoulders. Allow your stomach muscles to relax and pay attention to the breath that is coming in and out of your body. And slowly relax your hips and feel the energy flow from your thighs all the way down to your feet. Go a little bit deeper. And as you feel the blood flowing, through your body, bring your attention to your third eye, situated in the middle of your forehead. Visualize a door in front of you. Slowly go towards the door and open the door. And as you walk in, you enter your favorite space. A space that gives you joy, a space that gives you peace, a space that gives you happiness. Look around and see what you observe. As you scan the room, you see a comfortable chair. Walk towards the chair and slowly sit down. As you sit, you notice that there is an elevator in front of you. And you can see that somebody is coming down that elevator. And as the elevator door opens, you see someone coming out of it. This is your feminine guide. Take a moment to observe what she looks like. Does she look familiar? Also see what she is wearing. What are some qualities you admire about her? As she comes towards you, shake hands with her and take a moment to ask her name. Now welcome her to sit on the right side of your shoulder. You can feel a sense of little heaviness on that side of the shoulder. And once again, pay attention to the elevator. You notice somebody coming out of the elevator once again. And this is your masculine guide. Observe what he looks like. See what he is wearing. What are some qualities you admire about him? As he moves towards you to shake your hand, ask him his name. Now ask him to sit on the left side of your shoulder. And as he takes a seat, feel the balance in your body. You may take a moment to introduce them to each other. And as you get comfortable having them around you, ask them, how would you like them to be invoked in times of need? How would they respond to you? What call do you need to make? Ask them if they have a message for you for this week, any desires or issues you're having in your life. Take a moment to bring it up to them. and ask them if there is any guidance that they can offer you at this time. Take a deep breath in and exhale. And as I count backwards from 3 to 1, you slowly start coming down to your reality. So 3, you feel safe and happy. 2, you feel guided. At the count of 1, I would like you to open your eyes. I'd like you to be back in the room. If you want to take a minute to take down any notes before you forget what your guides have told you, take a minute to do that. If you have your phone or paper, pen, just take down whatever message you received. Even if it didn't make sense, write it down because eventually it will make sense. And if you're done taking notes, just raise your hands up so I know that everybody is back. All right, looks like most of you are back. Now what I want you to do is just kind of rub your hands together. And feel the energy passing through your body. And join your hands in prayer motion. Feel the energy flowing from one hand to the other. And slowly you may thank your guides for making the connection with you and also giving you a way to call them when you need them. If you received any valuable or advices that made total sense, thank them for that. If they sat and had a conversation in your mind or joked around, thank them for that moment. And slowly take one deep breath in and come back. I hope you had a good connection. Does anybody want to share what their guides look like? You don't have to be afraid or shy. Or if you couldn't make the connection, that's fine too. Just let me know. Anjana, are you going to say something? I think you.
Yeah, I was surprised actually because I don't know if it was supposed to be like that, but it was my parents, and the masculine and the feminine switched. So,
Okay.
so yeah, that was surprising. I don't know if it was meant to be like that. And also at that point, I had a question like if the guides it's a form. Is it just a form of my parents, or are they really my parents talking? And so is it a form? Is my question.
Yes.
The
So,
guide in form of my parents.
so you resonate with your parents as your guide. So they appear to you in that format. So it's much easier for you to talk to them. Because I think in your mind, your parents hold a lot of value. So, and I know they came in the switched form, which they like to make, fun or make comedy out of things. They love doing that kind of thing. So it did make you laugh at some point. But yes, it is a form in your parents', they've acquired your parents' form for you to be, for you to connect easily with them.
Okay.
And
So
Mhm.
is it so yeah, so do these spirit guides change in with time and context and circumstances?
Yes, they do. They do. And you could have more than one spirit guide as well. In fact, and I was reading about Neville Goddard's method. I think it was Neville Goddard, yeah, where he has a board of directors as his spirit guides. So he has like Abraham Lincoln, he has all these
Nice.
leaders.
Okay.
And, when he has a problem, what he does is he goes into this meditative state and says, guys, fix this problem. And he watches them discuss, you know,
Great.
and then eventually he gets his messages and he comes back and he operates. So a lot of, if you look at history itself, to a lot of people, they take these short naps. I think it was Einstein who used to love to take these short naps, and these short naps were not naps. It was them just letting go of the left side and connecting, right? And then they get all these ideas, or they get their solutions to their problems.
Okay.
So yes, today they showed in the form of your mom and dad. They connected with you, but you could have more than two, and they could also change their formats.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay. Thank you.
you're welcome. Anybody else? Oh, does that mean nobody connected? Oh my God, I'm disappointed now. Hey, Sandy.
Hi. So I was able to see my guides, but when I asked them like how to help or any suggestions, I didn't get any answer.
Okay.
So is it that I wasn't receptive or I don't know.
So you relayed your problem, but you didn't get any answer. Is that right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, it could be your mind might not be as quiet as it should be. You could be having something at the back of your head. But what I want you to do is, since now you know how to connect to them in your own time and space, right? I mean, this is like more of a what do you say? This is not your time and space. This is more of a workshop. So what I want you to do is, maybe when you get that quiet time, connect with them one more time and try to get your message. They will usually respond to you.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Pratibha, did you have any experience?
Yeah, so um, let's say I'm in a good space, mentally, spiritually. So there are no like identified problems. There's there's a higher perspective, better perspective, etc. But I sort of surrendered to the process, and my recently departed brother is the one who appeared.
That's nice.
And in fact, when you were guiding through the process, because you had not mentioned the gender, and he's the strong one that, so he's the first one. So just like Kanjana.
Yes.
And my other very close to heart person is my daughter. She's in her body. So I don't know whether in body people can also be spirit guides. But yeah, so these were the two people. And just when the sort of communication part was happening, I got a phone call. That's why I went off video. I had to take it. But yeah, so by God's blessings, I'm in a good space. So I didn't have any identified problems or anything that I needed to ask, just the feeling of them being in my life.
Right.
Felt good.
That's absolutely fine. The good thing is you connected with them. So these, you mentioned your daughter too. So, in your problems too, I mean, I think they have appeared in the way that, the two most important beings at this time are what they are showing up as for you. So yes, you are definitely connected, and it's fine, because I know a person of mine, she had her husband come as the guide, and because she's more comfortable talking to him. But still, your guide is not your husband. Like talking to your husband or daughter is different, but then for using that, the higher self form is going to be different in the way you receive your messages. So thank you for sharing, Pratibha. All right, Rohini, Mama, you have something. Your hand is raised.
Yes, I do. My spirit guides were a total surprise to me. I still don't know what to think about them, but the male one turned out to be a lion, a really cuddly, sweet, handsome lion. And the female guide turned out to be, I don't know, she did identify herself. I don't know her at all, but it was, an anime character.
Okay.
Very pretty with big eyes and a long neck. And so, okay, I connected with them. I talked to them. And as you know that I'm preparing for a workshop and I'm in a very, very initial stage. So I'm trying to figure out what approach to take to the subject that I'm going to talk about. And the lion gave me some fantastic advice, which I'm going to take. So that was my experience.
That's awesome. So you got some ideas.
I did, yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Very nice. Very nice. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
All right. So I guess I don't see anybody else wanting to share anything, but I hope you guys had a good, session, and have fun with this. There's nothing what do you say, scary or serious about it. Have fun with it, connect with them, get your messages. And I hope you practice this for the entire 2023, and get all your goals accomplished, and hopefully end of this year I get to hear from you guys saying, hey, this is where I am with my spirit guides. So thank you so much for your time, Pratibha. That's all I have today.
Thank you. I think, can we open for questions if anybody has
Yes, please.
questions, comments, anything?
I think is there chats? I see a chat.
Oh, I just sent a chat if anybody wants to connect.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. The email, our email. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, by the way, if anybody wants to get in
That's
touch
right.
with me, and I forgot about that, my information is on the Wholistic Health Alliance website directory. So if you guys want to connect me outside of this, for any other needs, please feel free to do so.
So do we have Sandy's hand raised or?
Let's see.
No, not raised. I was just clapping. It was a really good session.
I have a question, and also I just want to thank you. The whole guided meditation to get into the process itself was very, very beautiful. And the question I have is like, since we are all kind of in the same zone of thinking, we might accept this process, but what would you say for somebody who is like the left part of the brain, like, hey, this doesn't work, or
Right.
what would you say to them?
So in my thought, there is a time for everything, and until somebody's time doesn't come in, they don't really get into this kind of the spirituality perspective of it. Like some incidents have to trigger on them, or they have to go through certain, hurdles before they are open to accept this. If we try to force this on them, it's going to go negative. Because I remember growing up, like my grandfather was a very spiritual guy, and he tried to teach us meditation, and we would just run away from him, right? But today, when I think, I'm like, oh my God, I wish I had spent some time with him, because my practice would have gone so much, further. But I guess that was not my time. Everybody's time comes to them when it is their right time. So we can't really force anybody, but it's just it's everybody's what you call their singular journey.
Correct.
So we can definitely share, but if they don't accept it, just let it be.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
No problem.
I fully agree with that. And, my background is in Ayurveda. I'm an Ayurvedic practitioner. And my sort of life experience is that for some people, that moment may not even come.
Right.
People who have traversed a path, they've opened up, because we barely use 5% of our brain, or what we understand in terms of our, not just the physical brain, the other dimensions of the brain, the supranatural or whatever. We don't tap into that. So this is, I feel, one of the several ways to tap into that, open up our consciousness, not the brain, but the consciousness to higher faculties and higher possibilities, higher potential. Maybe it is just our own consciousness that is coming to us in forms that we are comfortable with. There's so many possibilities. We are finding our own therapists within us, our own counselors within us. There's so many ways to interpret this. So I find it fascinating, and it's a journey. And thank you for bringing some of us back into that journey, and for some initiate that journey. Thank you, Mridula.
Thank you.
All right. I hope you all had a good time. Of course, please follow our Facebook page so that you can remain updated. We have other wonderful workshops, presentations, experientials coming up in the next several months. So please stay tuned, and thank you once again, Mridula, for giving your time. This was a lovely experience. It helps us to meet our other side, that we don't say hello to very often. So,
Right.
yeah.
All right, guys, practice this.
All right. Have a wonderful day, and namaste to everyone.
Thank you.
All
Bye.
right. Bye.
Thank you.
Let me stop recording. Mridula, just stay on.
Okay.
Yeah.